So I'm here with actor Wilmer Valderrama, who stars on Minority Report currently as Will Blake. When did you first decide you wanted to become an actor and really set your mind to it?
Well, I was 6 years old and I was back in Venezuela and I was doing my first play and I had only one line. And I got on stage and I said this one line, and I remember I got such a huge reaction from the crowd because the line was just so random. But this little kid goes on stage and says this grown-up line, and then the whole crowd went crazy. And I looked at the crowd and I felt something that I've never felt before, which was, wow, for this very moment while I'm on stage, I'm entertaining, you know, and that was something different to me, you know, and I kind of got addicted to entertaining, you know, and got addicted to playing characters that were so far removed from who I was. You know?
Right.
And then later in life, you know, when eventually I came to the United States back in '94, I was 14. You know, I went back to theater to learn how to speak English. And I felt like if I was gonna go to speaking, you know, if I was gonna learn how to speak English, that doing theater was gonna force me to speak out loud, it's gonna force me to read, and I'm gonna still have a little fun, you know, doing it. And the more I did it, the better my English became. And then after that, I just kind of fell in love with acting, you know? And I just gave it all I had, and eventually I started getting jobs.
And you got a big job right off the bat, pretty much with Fez on the 70s show.
Yeah, and then 1998, 4 years later, after being super focused about what I wanted to do, I was booking Fez on that 70s show.
That was probably when your popularity was huge at the time. Was that hard for you to get used to being so in the spotlight?
Well, you know, it's really interesting. I've been asked that a few times, and you know what really was for me? I feel like we never really, back then there was no social media, there was none of that stuff, so we were actually kind of disconnected.
Yeah.
And you know, we would go home and then we'd come and shoot another episode, go home and shoot another episode, and not until like we did press or we went, you know, out and about that we started getting recognized and stuff, and or we go to award shows and we see the ovation of the people that we're like, oh, okay, I think people are watching the show, but while we were in it, our heads were so like down in the work and just kind of grinding and getting the episodes out that for 8 years, you know, we knew the show was loved and the people really enjoyed watching it, but I never knew exactly like what our profiles were because we never really read magazines, we never really kind of kept up with any of those things. We were so disconnected.
Yeah.
But then later, a couple of years later, when I started doing the speaking engagements to, you know, youth leadership programs and things like that, and I would see the kids go crazy, you know, when I was on stage, that's when all of a sudden it started getting real. I was like, oh, okay, this is, a lot of people are watching, you know, so it's special. It's special because an actor, that's all they want. They want us just to be able to have an audience and to perform for them.
And now you doing two jobs pretty concurrently, one as a villain on From Dusk Till Dawn and a cop on Minority Report. What's been the juxtaposition? What's that been like for you to play?
It's a little unique, you know, because because the character on From Dusk Till Dawn is so like just so heavy and so subliminal and multi-layered. And then when I go to work as Lieutenant Will Blake, I kind of have to turn a lot of that off and take so many of those layers off because, you know, Blake is by the book and we're going in there and, you know, he's very literal about the things, you know, because he's so sarcastic and he's fun and he gets, you know, he busts everyone's balls. But what's really unique about it is it's my mind process when I go to different sets, because sometimes, specifically during the pilot, I will go and, you know, blow up the titty twister, right? And then we'll fly the next day to jetpack the scene and be like the smart-ass cop, you know what I mean? And I had to turn off a lot of things. I had to think out loud about a lot of stuff. But it was fascinating. And I had so much fun to exercise two muscles at the same time. Like, what actor gets to do that on this level with Robert Rodriguez and Steven Spielberg? It's been a dream.
Well, you're an amazingly talented young man, and it's so cool to see you doing so much work now.
Thank you.
And I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me.
It's nice to meet you.